So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and just giving you a little shot here of my desktop. Made a blotter out of our image here. Learn Zohar every day will bring the Mashiach. Got to learn how to learn Zohar. We have a lot of help now we never had before. Let's go over here, and here we are back with the great Rabbi Mimran, Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran, YC Mimran. Excuse me, so I clear my throat. So this is a topic which I said I was going to read again because I read it yesterday. A lot of these things could be read over and over again. So once again, I recommend that everybody buy this book because it's kind of a book that you could practice your whole life long. So it says like this: the power of intention, which in Hebrew is called kavanah, which means the direction in which you're praying, or what your intentions are. That's what he says, intention. A lot of people just on my side add that this is actually the midah of the sphere of Kesser. Kesser is pure kavanah. If you think about it, kavanah is very, very not physical. Now let's read what we say over here in Chovos HaLevavos. In order to connect to its higher light, one must understand that the nefesh is a simple spiritual entity which is drawn to what is similar to itself, which are spiritual fires. Now, all of these ideas are metaphoric, but they're not explained out at this point. And it naturally distances itself from what is opposite to it, material bodies. Now, you see this in Kabbalah a lot, is that similar, like matches like. So the idea of Kabbalah, to a great extent, is make things that are not alike into one. And then we do this is the concept of the right line, left line, middle line, balance. Adam's original body is said to have been similar in appearance to the angels. Angels are pure thought forms. That's what an angel is, composed of higher light particles existing in a fifth dimension. Now, he had said before that the dimension of thought, this is the way of talking, is the fifth dimension. And then these hyper light particles. So what the light is not explained. The value of a thought here gives us insight as to why the Torah places such tremendous emphasis on the thought and intent. That is kavanah, and prayer into performing the ritual commandments. Our thoughts create things. There is physicality to our thoughts. A shift of essence from high light to sublight speed should not be a foreign concept to us. Now, he means that things which are hot, which he talks about, are moving fast, and he calls it hyperlight. I think that's what he means. Let's see. Heat equals speed of movement. In other words, the more a molecular structure of a thing vibrates, the hotter that mass becomes. The opposite is also true. The slower something goes, the colder it becomes. And the best example for this is H2O, which is water, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, which we know as water. When water is between the temperatures of 0 and 100 degrees Celsius exists in a liquid state. Below 0 degrees Celsius, the molecular structure of water slows down to become solid ice. At the temperature of above 100 degrees Celsius, liquid water turns into a gas form, which is steam. Eventually, steam can be continue to heat it, until it further becomes plasma. Now, this is a concept I don't know. A type of matter that isn't simply gas, yet is not pure energy. And as is with water, so it is with the body of man, and thus all of mankind, whose bodies are made up of about 60% of water. So he says that the qualities of water have a lot to do with us. The result of incongruent movement in the dimension of thought, now listen to that, man, that line. He started bad thoughts. Led Adam's essence to slow to such an extent that it changed essence from light to mass. Now, I said, as it is my theory or my way of looking at this, is that men were born with the ability to be able to use their animal drive. And he got into that. As that happened, it started the light, which was moving at a very fast speed, started to slow down until it became a mass. Instead of being like an angel, Adam became like a monkey. Comparatively speaking, he became very physical. Yet it appears that our energy side only became encased in an outer shell of matter. And he wants to say that inside of us is something which is not physical. This is the relationship of body and soul. Matter is ever changing. Atoms are continually forming new molecular structures, so it seems that whatever energy field we call a soul, it only has a temporary ability to project a cohesive element to the molecules that form our physical bodies, meaning that there is a time limit on the amount of time that this soul can attach itself to physicality. Yet at some point, this cohesive ability either breaks down or intentionally has within it a type of self-destruct mechanism. This is the aging process. Tell me about it. Which results in the inevitable death of the physical body. Now he says, from a Kabbalistic tradition, though, it does not seem that this process is absolute. We have two examples of humans who have transcended the physical plane by transforming into light bodies. These two are Enoch and Eliyahu Hanavi. That's Elijah the prophet. Both spoken about in the Torah, how they became light forms. Now, the change itself is a rather interesting one, or according to Kabbalistic legend, their bodies were turned into fire. Now, everyone knows that if one's flesh were to combust, one would burn to death. Therefore, this is some other type of fire. Yet, if the transfer of matter into energy is performed by the speeding up of molecular structure of the speed of light and beyond, so in other words, he wants to say that thought is a dimension beyond light. This generates a large amount of heat. This is most likely the reason why angels and other entities of that nature are said to possess bodies that glow like brass or gold. Their forms are not made of matter as we know it, but rather of pure energy, congealing in an appropriate form for the sake of their individual earthly mission, so they can be congealed as some physicality. Such form is discarded once the entity returns to its own dimensional plane of existence. So he says the form around the energy. Such a case is mentioned in Tanakh, which is another word for scriptures, referring to an angel that visited the parents of Shimshon, which is Samson, a Jewish judge who would possess tremendous strength. Once the angel finished his message, Scripture mentions how the angel disappeared in a puff of smoke. Now earlier he gave a definition of an angel. Here's what it says. Angels are pure thought forms, composed of higher light particles existing in a fifth dimension. So they are thought forms. Standard human intelligence does not conceive of matterless forms or of pure energy, which are constructs of thought, which are made out of thought. He's saying the power of thought. But it has to be directed in a certain way. Now, at this point, one has to really realize the authority with which Rabbi Mimran is speaking. This is a Torah which has been hidden for thousands of years. So now it's coming to light. This is not just like anybody else's ideas. Because of that, it's been hand to hand, in secret, for thousands of years, coming now to us. So he said, yet these entities exist up and above our awareness or lack of it. When in interacting with us, these entities must project a type of visage through their natural medium of the mental plane. So he's saying that your thoughts, and he said that earlier, and we should see it again, they had the ability to make angels. Now, what does angels mean? So again, his words are, angels are pure thought forms. So that's angel, we understand, is up above us, or it's some inside of us in some way, preliminary to us. Composed of higher light particles existing in the fifth dimension, and that dimension has reality and physical. It is only in this way that average humans are able to cognize non-matter forms of light. It has to be in your mind. Thus, when one of these entities appears, it actually is harmonizing slowly, slowing down its vibrational frequency of whatever forms of particles or strings that forms existence, with an appropriate match within the individual's subjective mind. Now, he said before in the very beginning that matches go together. Like finds like finds like, and like avoids difference. So he says match within the individual's subjective mind. Such an entity does not need to take on mass and thus slow down its personal modulation to that point. It simply communicates with the human in that one dimension that we share, the realm of thought. Now, so I was just adding that it's a two-way street. Your thoughts are going towards the angel, because the angel is a realm of thought. Maybe I like the idea of a channel of thought, something stable in thought. So it could go up, it could go down. So it goes to the angel, back from the angel. As mentioned earlier, the proof that radio waves and other such frequencies exist is because we have the necessary instruments, such as radios, mobile phones, etc., that can detect them. So we also can be considered as the devices by which communication with angels, souls, and the like is possible. So he says angels simply communicate with the human in that one dimension, which is a match, which we share, which is the realm of thought. Angels and thought. Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolo, Rabbi Y.C. Mimran. The ultimate connection with God.